Hi y'all, welcome to day 3 of 100 Days of Riding Kai. And if you want to see what I did to prepare for this day after day 2, look at day 2.5. I'll put a link in the description. Now, let's go get Kai. When I went to get Kai to ask him to join me, he very eagerly and willingly came with me. And he continued following me even though I, for some reason, decided I needed to hurry up and get to the camera before he got in the pen. I don't remember what I was thinking then. So it occurs to me that I haven't really let you in too much on the process of me actually asking Kai to join me, but let me know if you want to see that in a future video. Okay, so I'm starting with some groundwork with Kai just to help us get attached and to get focused on what we're going to be doing. There's some distractions today. Of course, the grass in this area is always a little bit of a distraction, but the bugs and the flies were just really bad on this day. We had just gotten some rain and it was a warm day, and the bugs are just always awful after a night with some rain and then some warmth the next day. So we were dealing with that as well. So as you can see, we're just dealing with those distractions. I'm asking Kai to attach. Okay, so I know you see those busted cavalettes that we have there that he did not go over, and he did not seem to want to go over those today. I was asking him about going over them, but I wasn't asking him to go over them, and those are two very different things. And you may wonder, can he really tell the difference? Well, yes, and the reason he can tell the difference is because of the way I respond when I ask. If I ask about it and he makes a choice and I let the choice be, then he learns that I'm asking about it. If I ask him to do it and he doesn't, and I go back and I continue asking, and we keep working on it until we get it, then he learns the difference between me asking about it and me definitely asking him to do it. Now, Kai and I have had many conversations like this, and so I feel very confident in him being able to tell the difference. I don't really have an agenda about him going over the cavalettes at all today. So it's more about us just getting connected and getting present and focused on each other. Now I'm asking him for a little bit of detachment. I'm asking him to go first instead of me going first. And it's just something to help us connect on a different level. That's going to help us with connecting on his back. And we have a little mirroring going on there. When he scratched his leg, I scratched my head. And it makes me wonder how much that happens in our interactions. And maybe we'll find out more about that through this series. Let me know with a comment when you see us mirroring each other. We had some auditors for our session today. That is Kai's sisters Iris and Juno and his friend Cash. And they watched pretty much the entire time we were in there. I asked Kai about the halter today, and as you'll see, we have a much different result than we did from day 2. And I'm convinced that this has to do with the way that I have shown up today. I'm much more present. I took the time I needed to prepare myself mentally and emotionally so I could be present and focused on him and me and our relationship, and not anything else. So today I am going to start with him doing some detachment. So what I'm going to ask is for him to move away from me while staying connected and attuned to me. And this is going to help us build a better connection when I'm on his back. It's also going to help us work on communication about when I ask him to move forward and when I ask him to stop. So I'm putting pressure on his barrel, and I'm asking him to move his body away but still stay connected enough with me that he can hear when I ask him to come back. Detachment is not Kai's favorite thing. He would much prefer to just follow me and stay close instead of him going out first and moving away from me. So when I ask him to come back in, he usually very easily comes back in. Now, I'm about to ask him, this side is much harder for him, and pretty much all horses have a side that is more difficult than the other one. So I sped through the first part of this detachment exercise because I didn't think that you wanted or needed to see the full 15 minutes of detachment work that you did. But you can see the pace that we're going at. It's very, very slow. And that's fine where we're at right now. We're not working on speed, we're just working on this basic skill and improving upon it. Also, it's because he doesn't like it on this side. It's really hard. It's a lot harder for him on this side, and he's getting a little bit irritated at me for asking for a little bit more space. But I just try to keep my requests steady and gentle, and we work through the irritation, and then I don't ask for a whole lot more before I ask him to come back in. Now, I asked him not to come all the way back in, and I want you to watch my hand. So this is one of the ways I like to do detachment. I like to use this finger and point, and you'll see why and where this comes into play later. I like to develop this skill of detachment where I can point left or right and we can move in that direction easily. And I'll show you later what that's going to help with. So again, I'm not looking for speed, I'm not looking for great distances, I'm just looking to build a little bit of consistency about this detachment, because as you can see, we have a lot of stops and starts because this is not a skill we've worked on in a long time. So we're doing little bits of detachment, then I ask for attachment. And watch my eyes, they just shift to his hindquarters and he feels it and he starts coming right in. So let's watch it in slow motion, and you can see, here we go, my eyes start to shift. Now watch his right hind. Eye shift, watch his right hind. Watch what's going to happen here. He felt that shift immediately and he started moving that right hind out. So his head starts coming in, and as his head comes in, my hand follows. I didn't pull him with my hand followed the movement of his head. Let me know in the comments if you know why my hand following his head rather than leading his head is an important distinction to make in this case. Now, Kai and I had just achieved a moment of some really nice timing and attunement, and I thought that was a good place to continue on. So now I am starting to ask Kai about mounting. And if you haven't figured it out by now, we're gonna be taking things pretty slowly. Now, some of you may be watching what I just did with wrapping that lead rope around his neck, and you may be going, oh my gosh, that's dangerous, something really bad's about to happen, someone's gonna get injured. So one thing to keep in mind about me is that I come from a ranching family, and the way we trained horses is the way that we needed to train them to be able to work cattle and to do our jobs. And so one of the things that you needed in a horse is for them to be able to handle reins around their neck or a rope around their neck with you not holding on to them and watching every step that they make. So that if you had to dismount and take care of a cow or something like that, you didn't have to worry about your horse. You knew they could handle themselves with their equipment and with the reins around their neck and not hurt themselves or anyone else. And I continue to train these skills into my horses because I think that it helps horses be more present, it helps them learn how to problem solve, and it helps them to think through problems when they come across them instead of just waiting for humans to rescue them all the time, because we can't always do that. And I'm just curious, how do you think helping a horse learn to think like this and navigate equipment and possible dangers like this impacts their welfare? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. You may be wondering why I put that green mounting block where I did. And I don't really have a good reason. I thought I'd just try it there and just see what happens. Here you're about to see where that pointing hand comes in. Watch closely for a similar movement. Let's watch it again. And that hand cues him forward. That's going to help when I'm on his back as well. So I decided to try to lay across him, but I don't get far enough over. And the bottom half of my body is much heavier than the top half of my body, and I'm off balance. And Kai's not sure what to do with that, but I like the way he handled it. He didn't freak out too much. He simply just moved away and tried to do something about the situation. He didn't just check out. He didn't just take it. He tried to move his body and take care of himself, and he didn't hurt me or anyone else. He also didn't run away or completely disconnect from me or the situation. In fact, he pretty easily came back and engaged again. And that is a really important skill for him to have, because when we do rhythmic riding, you know, the mounting process isn't always perfect. Sometimes when people first get on, they can be very stiff or unbalanced or floppy or any number of things. And so it's really important that Kai has the ability to handle all those different situations. So as I continue to ask Kai about thinking about mounting again, he turns away. And, you know, I don't really press it too much for a little bit, because it makes sense to me that he would want to take a little break after that little bit of stress we just experienced with me getting off balance on him. But as he walks towards the camera, you'll see an issue come up with that rope around his neck. I want you to notice how he handles it. He stays calm. He puts his attention towards me. He notices that I'm coming to help him, and he calmly waits for me to come handle that rope. He doesn't freak out about it. He doesn't ignore it and continue having his head on the ground and then getting his foot stuck in the rope. He notices it and stays present and calm and regulated. Now, Kai didn't always handle these kinds of stressors this way. He used to be a little bit more reactive to things like that, but we have worked on it through a myriad of different activities and situations that have just naturally come up, where he has learned how to regulate and how to stay connected with his environment, with himself, and with others, so that he can get through the situation safely. So this isn't something that just was created just because I started putting a rope around his neck. It's something we've been working on for a long time through a lot of different things. So Kai's still experimenting a little bit about where to put his body when I ask for possible mounting. And so whenever he puts his body too far forward or maybe too far behind, I kind of lean a little weight on him and let him see, hey, I can't, that's not going to work that way. I can't get on you that way. And notice that even as he gets turned around and twisted, I'm trying really hard not to be pulling on him with that rope. I want him to move his feet and him to make the choice to move his own feet to come to the block, not me drag him to the block. This is especially important for rhythmic riding, because I am going to be bringing him to the mounting block for someone else to mount. And I don't want him to automatically think that that means that I am in control of his feet. I want him to remain in control of his feet, and I want him to continue to communicate to us and make choices about when he lets someone on his back, because that's going to be really important not only for his welfare, but for information for us as a therapy team and for the client. All right, so he's finally in a good position, and I just hop on. And notice how he shifts his body a little bit to try to put me in a better position because I got a little bit too far back on him. Again, a really valuable skill for a horse that's going to be doing rhythmic riding. And that's not something that I taught him. That's something that he just either inherently knows or something that has come through attunement with people in the work we've done. I can't really tell you exactly what that is, but it is a really amazing and valuable skill for a horse to have for rhythmic riding. So at this point, I am very aware of the camera, and some of those thoughts and protections that were coming up for me in the last session are starting to come up now. So I'm going to kind of give you a little glimpse into what that's like. Do you see that? I got it. I see it. It's people.
What? There's people watching us?
Judging.
There's people judging us?
It's people judging
okay.
us. That one's judging you for using a halter?
Oh no. Yeah, go get. No, don't use the halter then. You better go use a hackamore. No, not a hack. No. Oh, a bitless. Oh, a bitless brat. No, not a bitless. A snaffle. Oh, better go get a snaffle. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's okay. We'll fix it.
That one's judging you for not using a saddle.
Oh, maybe we better get a saddle. Yeah, go get a saddle. No, not a saddle. Don't get a saddle. Yeah, okay. Oh, no one's judging you because you're not wearing a helmet, you stupid idiot.
Oh yeah,
get a helmet. No, they think you're stupid. Go get a helmet. Okay. Yeah, that one's judging you for what you're wearing. Oh, we need to wear different clothes. Oh, let's go change. Yeah, come on, we need to go change our clothes. We need to go change our clothes. It's not right. That one's judging you for going too fast. That one's judging you for going too slow. Oh, straight. Oh, better straighten up. Straighten up. That one's judging you for giving him too many choices. That one's judging you for not giving him enough choices. Well, okay, so don't worry about that. Let's just, maybe we should feed him. No, let's go put some fly. He's fidgety. Let's put fly spray on him. So we gotta get him where he's not fidgety. We can't do it if he's fidgety. You should never be riding a horse. That one's judging you because you look silly. That one's judging you because your horse looks lame. That one's judging you because your horse looks too healthy. That one's judging you because maybe you're feeding him too much.
Now, fortunately, during all this, those little voices and thoughts weren't too loud. They were definitely manageable, and they didn't get in our way. I didn't let them get in our way this time. I really tried to redirect them and stay focused on just me and Kai, and not worried about what anyone who wasn't even there might be thinking or feeling about what we were doing. So here I'm trying to very gently shift my weight a little bit to ask Kai to move forward. And he's doing a really excellent job at picking up on these cues while I'm on his back and managing it, even though I keep losing my balance a little bit. And here I'm trying to ask him to go right in front of the camera, and he doesn't. And so we spend some time behind the camera working that out, and we finally come right and back around to the camera. And that's the process for these rides. We're working on small things and small increments. So I am working on a dismount that we ask our clients to do. And Kai's having trouble with it today. He seems very confused by it. One of the things he does when he's confused or unsure about a situation is he just backs up. He just keeps backing up. It's something we've had to work on and work through in a lot of different scenarios. So I realized that I need to do it a little bit faster so he can see what I'm actually asking, so that he knows what to do with it. Because I don't want a horse who's going to be moving while you're trying to dismount. I want him to learn to recognize when that's about to happen and to stop. So that is something we will continue working on. So here I'm just giving him some scratches and just kind of messing around with him, being connected, and he starts asking me about more scratches for his face and his neck, because gosh, he's so itchy today between shedding and all the bugs. It's just an itchy life for a horse right now. Okay, here is one of those situations with the rope that just naturally comes up. He drops his head and it falls, and it gets kind of stuck around his leg. And so I take this opportunity to work on this a little bit. What are we going to do when we get that around our leg and it gets a little tight and starts pulling on our head? How are we going to handle this situation? And notice I'm just presenting him with the problem, and I'm giving him the time and the space to come up with a solution about what to do with it. And he does. He lifts his foot and he takes the pressure off the rope in his head. Now he's moving his feet around, working on it, and I'm continuing to just work with him on it till he moves his feet in a way that gets it undone. And he kind of comes, I feel like, and asks me for help. So that's a good solution too. So I go ahead and help him with it. So now I am going to work a little bit on some more detachment, but in this detachment, I'm asking him to stay put and let me walk away from him and remain connected. Some people call this ground tying, and this is a beneficial skill to have in general, part because I have to learn how to communicate a stop in my body even when I'm far away or I'm also moving, and he has to learn how to pick up on that. That's going to be important for riding as well. And we're going to watch as I come around here. You're going to see I give him a subtle cue. Watch my head. All right, I look at his hind end and I start asking him to attach. And he's so connected and attuned that he feels that, and he just starts coming. So some good subtle communication. Oh yay, we have a new problem that just naturally arose from that rope being on his neck. He stepped on it, and I'm like, hey, what are you gonna do about that, buddy? And what does he do? He notices the tension, he lifts his foot off the rope, stays calm, connected, regulated, handling those situations very well. So I'm going to ask for some more detachment. And notice he's watching me and staying real connected with me and attuned while I'm moving around him. And I ask him to come back, and he does. And I connect with him and give him little scratches. Now this time, when I asked him to not come all the way, he ignored that request. And so I had to ask him again. And we just reset and kept trying again. And so now I'm working on some different kind of games. I'm just kind of playing around at this point. We sometimes get people here who are not in great control of their bodies. And so it's important to work with our horses on things like someone running up to them and approaching them and like trying to jump near them or on them, and helping them handle that in a healthy way. And Kai is just really excellent at this point. So that's the end of this session. I hope that you found some value in it, and if you did, please give it a like. It really helps us a lot. I'm so grateful that you joined us on this part of our journey, and I can't wait to see you next time. Y'all take care of each other.